Looking to outfit your trailer with the best racks in the industry? Head over to Equipment Defender. Be secure, look professional, be organized, stop thieves and damage in their tracks. Equipment Defender has racks for backpack blowers, trimmers, gas cans, backpack sprayers, and more. Stay organized, stay secure with Equipment Defender. All Equipment Defender racks work in either open or enclosed trailers. Get secure and organized today at equipmentdefender.com. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Equipment Defender. You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, really quick on today's podcast episode, I wanted to echo a thought that I've been having lately, and that is about networking. It's about working together. It is about making friends in the lawn and landscaping industry, in the community, whether the social media community, whether somebody in your local community. I just wanted to give a couple practical pieces of information and some insight about how we have been able to network, how we've been able to make a gob of money. I mean, like at the end of the day, dude, we're developing business. We're running our lawn and landscape business. We have an endless amount of work coming in of mowing, landscaping, pruning, irrigation. I mean, for some of you guys, look outside. I mean, just look outside when you're driving down the road, or if you're at your condo or apartment, or you have your house. I mean, the outdoors grows, I want to say arguably no matter what, right? Whether it's in the spring and summer and fall, the trees are growing, the grass is growing. If you're in the winter, the snow will be falling. The streets have to get plowed, to stay open for business. And some people are like, well, how do I get my business going? How do I make money? How do I, make a good go of this thing? And I always lead with, and here's something that I always hope to imbue into my kids is, you want to help people solve their problems, right? That's how you make money in life. And the amount of money you make will be proportional to the amount of problems you solve for your fellow man. It's really that simple. I've said this line 1,000 times before. A millionaire isn't wealthy because of the amount of money that he makes, but because of the amount of value that he adds to society. And you can argue that until you're blue in the face and have theories all day, but practically speaking, rooted thinking, grounded thinking is that the person who makes more money, period, case closed, has added more value to society. Whether you like that value add, whether you believe Taylor Swift is actually adding value, when Jeremiah's there in the audience there as a Swiftie, it just depends. I get it, it's semantics, but at the end of the day, she's got a stadium full of 35,000 people with some escapism, some entertainment, some fun, and she gets paid $500 million to $1 billion for her Eras tour, whatever it is. Hey, she's entertaining and she gets paid a lot of money because she's helping a lot of people, right? And just like you and me, planting trees, pruning shrubs, mowing grass. And really, it's not just cutting grass. It's, that's such a minimal approach or minimal thought about what we do. It's site management. Period, case closed. You're managing people's homes, their turf. You're managing their site. You're managing the home. You're managing the turf, the property, the landscaping, right? So when people just say, oh, we're just managing, mowing grass or making tall grass short, like, sure, you're just selling people a home. But what you're really doing, or selling people a house, but what you're really doing as a realtor is you're providing somebody a home to create, to do what? To create memories, to build a family unit. Right? So people are like, oh, you just cut grass or you're just, pruning shrubs. No, we're beautifying the neighborhood. We're beautifying the home, the site. People are like, oh, you're just installing pavers for a patio. No, I'm creating an outdoor living space. And quantify that. What the hell does that even mean? An outdoor living. What are you doing outdoors, living outside? Well, you're living outdoors, entertaining, building relationships, hopefully with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your peers, your kids, clients. I don't know. Right? So people... When we start looking at these things, it's like it's a value add. It's not just an industry where you're just making tall grass short or putting bricks in the ground. Like, I hate that kind of approach to what we do because I'll demean your industry right back with anything. I mean, it's really that simple for me to do because I'm crazy and I'm a little bit of a killer. But don't demean what we do, and I won't demean what you do because I can just say, oh, you're just selling a house. No, I'm providing a family the opportunity to become a family unit and to build memories, to give my kids a home base, a safe place, a husband where he can walk inside the door, take his armor off, and not slay dragons interiorly, hopefully, as much as he has to slay dragons exterior wise, right? So to go back to the top of the point is, what we do is we provide service, we provide value, we help people, we do make tall grass short, we do put bricks in the ground, but we're helping society, we're adding value to society. Well, in the beginning, or even through your career, you want to get as much business and as much work coming in. How do you do that? Well, of course, you network with or market your business, I should say, with yard signs and postcards and a website and a Google My Business listing. And that's a great way to drum up business. Of course, your customer referral programs, or maybe you have signage on your truck or your trailer. Like, those are great ways that have worked for my company to get millions of dollars worth of business over the years. And I would imagine they would do the same thing for you guys, because, well, it's worked for pretty much every single human being that's ever ran a small business. It's called marketing and advertising. So that's how you drum up business. But also a great way to drum up business is through networking. And some people out there still are not giving it the time of day. They're not treating it serious. They are not making an effort to network. And what do I mean specifically by that? Well, I'm just going to give you a real life story. Like, here's my life right now. Just did end a month the other day. A lot of billing, answering a lot of invoices, or a lot of emails for commercial clients, residential clients, looking at the work that we did do, billing for the work that we've done that I've subbed out a bunch of work for. And I'm just realizing, I'm like, dude, this is a freaking well-oiled machine. Like, it's doing really good. We can do a lot better. We have a lot of room for improvement too, but it's a good small business that my wife and I own. And we have 3 full-time guys, almost a 4th full-time kid named Bronson that works for us. And, he's making more money than I can ever imagine making at his age, because I pay him pretty good money to manage my personal property. He's mowing the lawn there. And then also he's logging 20, 30 hours a week for the lawn maintenance company. It's awesome. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, all this work is coming in, money out. We're billing for huge amounts. We're of course, paying invoices for huge amounts. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, our core business is pretty awesome, but all this extra work that we do, the landscaping, the irrigation, the pruning, the salting, of course, all this extra work has really came from networking and being able to solve those customers' problems. Like I said, so let's go back to full circle. We're trying to add value to these customers, and maybe there's work that you guys can't do or don't have time for or don't know how to do. Like, that's fine. That's awesome. Like, maybe you want to pick up a commercial site. Like, hey, we need the irrigation done. We need the mulch done. We need the pruning done. Salt and snow service done. And you're like, look, dude, all I got is bandwidth for mowing, or all I got bandwidth for is some mowing and maybe some mulch on landscape jobs on Fridays and Saturdays. Like, dude, that's fine. But to get the account, you have to do the irrigation, the pruning, the salt, the snow plowing. And maybe you can do all of it. Maybe you can't do all of it. So number one, if you can't do all of it, find some good friends that subcontract that out, and that's their core business, or that's something that they have bandwidth for in their business, right? So a lot of this work that I'm generating with my company, I would imagine in the last 45 to 60 days, we've done, I don't know, 2 to 5 to 10 grand worth of irrigation work, subbed out to my friend Mike Bedell. We've done $2,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 subbed out of landscaping work, or just giving work away, of course. I mean, most of the time I'm just giving work away to my friend Brett's Property Services, or my friend Keith with K&T Landscaping. I send a lot of landscape leads to his way, and depending on the side of town, and a bunch also to my other friend Brett. I would imagine that we've sent $10,000 to $12,000. I mean, none of this is like a stretch. We might be up and down $1 or $2 grand, but these are like core numbers. We probably sent about $10,000 to $12,000 worth of pruning work to my friend Chaz. He's out of Northville, amazing dude with his pruning and landscaping work. For all of our commercial sites, I don't do any of my own pruning anymore. I don't do any landscaping. We don't do any irrigation work. Now, we offer it because we sub it out, but I don't do anything. We're a full maintenance company. We got 110, 120 hours. I should say 130, 140 hours of mowing that we're doing weekly. And we just don't have time for that. There's no way. We can hire more people, and maybe we will. But in the meantime, that's what some of my other friends do with their core business. And we were able to sub that out, get the work done, maybe at a 10 or 20% markup on the work that we do. And not only one, service our customers, but number two, of course, make money. And that's a fantastic thing. So if I'm subbing out a friend for a printing job and his day rate's $14.95 and maybe he's charging me, $13.95 and I make $100 on that. Or he says, hey, my day rate's $14.95 and I tell the customer $16.25 and I make $200, brokering that relationship, that deal, that's awesome. Right? And so a lot of this work has came in through networking from my friend Mike Bedell for a lot of our irrigation, some landscaping. Bedell does very picky, choosy kind of stuff, which is perfect. Bedell and I do tens of thousands of dollars of salting work. Probably 20s or 30s of thousands. Fertilization. I know we've done tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fertilization work over the last 4 or 5 years that we've known each other. I would have to quantify it, but I'm sure, and dude, we're nobodies. We're a small business. Some of you guys have $1 million companies and blah, 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 which is awesome. But I would imagine Bedell and I have done $250,000 worth of business in less than 5 years that we've known each other. I would have to imagine it's been that much by now. We'd have to really put a number on there. I know every year we're subbing out 30 to 50 grand worth of work just to him. And we're skimming on the top. We're adding a little percentage to the top of that, of course. It's how it works. But if I didn't have the network of a Mike Bedell, a Brett, a Keith, or a Chaz, just like those are the 4 guys that I was messaging all this morning, sending out work to, updating schedules. Hey, I got this came in. Do you want it? I got this going on. Do you want it? Sometimes yes, sometimes no's, of course, depending on their schedule, their interest, their availability. But the point is, of this month that we're going into, of August and the month that we just wrapped up in July, there's probably $10,000 to $20,000 of subcontracted work. Also, let's reverse it. Let's go up the other way. I'm subcontracted out from a couple of different companies. There's a couple national companies that I've been subcontracted out for a couple sites. A couple of like regional subcontracted companies that I've been subbed out for a couple sites. We've done some stuff for Troy Clogg. The other companies I'm not going to name, a little proprietary, we still try to be a little hush on some of the stuff that we do. But we're managing a couple government sites. Some of you guys work with the same people. I was alluding to on another podcast, I sent some work to Henrik the Lawn Care Kid, about 45 minutes to an hour southwest of me. 40 minutes also west of me, southwest of me is Paul Lisinski with Bitchin' Lawns. Sent him some work with the same people that had a bunch of sites that they took on in the greater Michigan market. And I was like, I can handle a bunch of stuff for a couple different places, actually, and brokered some friends. Another friend of mine, and this isn't about me, I'm just saying, like, this is the power of networking. I'm one guy, one little tiny ant, small business. But I'm saying, like, this is the amount of work that we're able to broker and generate and help out. I've sent a company that is looking to sub out a bunch of sites in Michigan to my friend Jake Meisner, who's about 40 minutes north of me, who's in one market, but actually also looking to get into a whole different section of town based on where he lives and the type of clientele out that way, in traffic and all this other mess. And I'm sending him potentially tens and tens of thousands of dollars of snow and, of course, lawn care work to be. Just through the power of networking. This isn't us spending a dime or a dollar, right? This is just having my name out there, having a good website out there. I've found some companies have found me, praise the Lord, right? And it's a big networking fest. And in fact, how many times have you guys heard people say, like, on more business done in the golf course and in the ballroom, right? So take the opportunity to network. Go to a trade show. Go to a Launchpreneur Academy. Go to Equip Expo. Go to your regional dealer open house or your local open house. Go to your regional trade show and events, right? Like, take these opportunities to make friends. I talk all the time about my friend Cornell Mack. He's over there in Pittsburgh, PA. He's got 100 different guys in a Facebook group, and they do semi-regular meetups. And, hey, man, I'm on the north side of town. I'm on the east side of town. I'm on the south side of town between this mile road and this mile road, or this highway and this junction, or this section of town, or I only service the greater New Abbott area, or whatever. Or, hey, there's this development of 1,100 homes. My whole company is only in there. That's the only work that I'm doing. You don't do anything in there. You wanted to get in there. You never got in there, but your other buddy's in there, and you get a bunch of calls from that area in there. And your other buddy doesn't have any time to do anything else because he's exclusively in that subdivision, but he gets calls all the time around town too. Like, make friends, volley work to each other. And then if you want to charge each other a couple bucks or throw each other a couple bones or just go buy dinner, that's what I say. I don't want anything For a lot of the work that I refer, just go buy me dinner. Go buy me some steak. Let's go hang out. Let's go get Outback. Let's go to a nicer restaurant. Just hang out there. Okay. And if I do have the opportunity to add, 5, 10, 20% to a job that I sub out, then all the best. My buddy, Gabe's Lawn Care, Gabe Polteritis. A lot of you guys know Gabe. He was highlighted on our teenager tour last year. He's 15, almost 16 years old. Kid's killing it. One of you guys, and that person knows who he is, and he's an awesome dude too, but I don't want to give away his job or anything like that. But he did a huge landscape job and needed some help with irrigation and drip irrigation that the customer requested specifically. And the kid's like, well, I don't know anybody who's really doing that except for Gabe, who lives 10 minutes down the road. Gabe's like, yeah, I can do it. And Gabe's 15, 16 years old, toting around little Milwaukee tool pack out stuff and Home Depot buckets, but knows his stuff like the guy who's been doing irrigation for 20 years because Gabe's that engrossed and entrenched in doing irrigation and learning. Subbed that guy out. Gabe did a $4,000 job and made like $2,500 profit in a day's worth of work. Not because of marketing, not because of Facebook, through networking with another friend who just knew he could get it done the same day, next day, on the schedule that he needed, the quality of work that the guy needed, and boom, through networking. And that doesn't count the stuff that you can do, of course, going to trade shows, home shows, all this other stuff. My point is that it's wide open. And I joke, here's the last thought I'll give you, is I was joking with somebody about getting big, quote unquote, in the snow removal. I was like, yeah, dude, we can do 10 million, we can do 20 million. And they're like, what are you going to do that? I'm like, well, yeah, 3 minutes after Troy Clogg retires. And we were joking, and he's like, well, why is that? And I said, because Troy knows everybody. It's not that he's really, really good at doing snow, although he is. It's because he's so good at building friendships and relationships where the guy has for 30 plus years backslapped, shaked hands, kissed babies. I always joke. But that's what he's done for 30 plus years. And there's a lot of reasons for his success. But of course, one of the reasons is he's built relationships with 100,000 people over 35 years of business. I'll give you, I don't know if Troy wants me to share this one, but he's so good at business where I was like, yeah, I'm trying to bid this site and get their snow. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, we do the snow for them. I go, really? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, I know the owners, the Robinsons, whatever, for 30 years now. In fact, great food. You and your wife should go there. In fact, here, 1 second. Opens up his we're at breakfast, opens up his Trapper Keeper, gives me a gift certificate for $100. He wrote out, it's a blank gift certificate. He signs his name, signs the value, and gives it to my wife and I for a date night dinner. And he says, you guys should go over there and you guys should go get dinner. Give them this. They'll take care of you. It's not even Troy's freaking restaurant, bro. And he's writing $100 gift card for that restaurant, gift certificate for that restaurant for a nice place in town. If I said it, you guys would instantly know who it is, local. So I'm not going to do it, or even the type of food. But like, it's not only like, does he know the person? He's writing a gift certificate out of that person's behalf for their company. Like, dude, there's like check and then there's checkmate. And I'm just like roll my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, like I have no chance. And I'm having fun, but that's my point. That's how well he's networked. That's how well he knows. And that doesn't mean you can't fight. It doesn't mean you can't beat him on service, maybe being small, because he's a little bit bigger, of course. A little by a lot, he's a lot bigger. But it doesn't mean you can't beat on service. It doesn't mean you can't outsell. It doesn't mean you can't. I've sniped some of his properties, unbeknownst to him. And I've told him later, I'm like, hey, I got that site, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, good for you, man. He goes, that means you outworked my salespeople. You deserve it. And I'm like, thanks. Are we still friends? He's like I'm going to take something out of his 401k. Okay. Like he couldn't care less. Hey, if you take like a $1.5 million site from him, he'd probably get a little testy, just like anybody else would. But the little 5, 10, 20 grand sites, the bottom feeder accounts for him, I'm sure he's like, no big deal. Life goes on. They all circle around. But my point is it's networking. It's networking. It's networking. It's networking. And so many people want to bludgeon the sword to death. And they're like, I just want to spend all my time, just marketing or spending money. Like you can go to a trade show. You can go to a home show. You can go find the big dog in town and say, hey, man, what kind of problems do you have that I could solve for you, right? Because other people have problems, you can solve that. If there's another big company that has 100 sites and they have 100 problems and you can come in and say, hey, we'll solve 70 of those sites. Well, you just solved a big problem, right? Like I heard Grant Cardone once say, like, solve people's problems, wealthy people problems. Like they want to buy a Richard Mille. They can't find it, but you can go buy a watch maybe because you got it on a list or put a deposit down or know somebody. That guy sells you the watch for 150 grand. You go sell it to a multi-hundred millionaire for 250 grand. You just made $100 grand markup on a watch. What are you doing? You're solving the problem of that wealthy guy who wants an exclusive watch he can't find. It doesn't have time to shop for that. But you come in there with a briefcase of 8 watches, some Pateks, some this and some that's, some Audemars and some Richard Milles, the ones that he wants that he can't find because he doesn't have time to go look for that. And you walk in with a briefcase, and then you sell him a $300,000 watch in his boardroom or at his house, and people are like, "Wow, is he really adding value?" Yeah, in a different capacity, yes. But it's all brokering. It's all solving problems. You're solving rich people problems. If you want to get wealthy quick, go find a wealthy person and go solve some of their problems. You will, of course, also get wealthy very, very quickly. I promise you that. Okay, so just some quick tips today. Just some thought process about networking. Just some ideas. Just some tips. Just some hints. This is something that has transformed, revolutionized my company. And the reason it did, yes, was because of all the extra revenue and profit that we've made off of it. But really, it's the network. Really, it's the people that I know now because of the people that I'm networked with. It's the people that they know, right? Like when I hired our builder, Mike Miller Building Company, Mike Miller is the builder. I got a great video that I did a walk around of our house with him on building it together. Like I was so excited to get him on the YouTube channel because he's such an awesome dude. But it's not just him, right? When we hired Mike Miller Building Companies, it's the network of people that he's associated with, the carpenters, the vendors, the plumbing people, the electrical people, the concrete guys. These are the best of the best of the best that work with him, and now they work with me because I was able to tap into that network, right? So now that I got a concrete guy doing my house, I'm like, hey, I'm doing a pole barn. I need a really good guy for concrete. It's a lot of concrete, probably 20 grand of concrete. I want to make sure it's done right. I'm like, Mike, can I call your concrete guy? Would you mind if I tap into that network? Yeah, no problem, Brian. Of course. Call him up. Randy, can you do my concrete? Mike Miller's customers go to the top. Whatever you need, we'll make it work. Whatever, anytime. You give me a couple weeks heads up, we'll make it work. Hell yeah, brown cow. Right? Like that's the power of networking. It's not just Mike Miller. It's all of the people he knows. It's not just a Mike Bedell. It's all the people he knows. Mike Bedell will get almost any person to open up their supply yard during a snowstorm because of one, the amount of work that he's done, the amount of revenue he's bought, and product that he's bought. But number 3, the way he treats people. He knows everybody. I know a Mike, and I'm like, hey, Mike, I need something. He's like, give me a second. I got a phone number. I'll get you somebody. Right? Like they always say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. There's a lot of truth to who you know. And 10, 15 years ago, I was broke. I didn't know anybody. 15 years later, we're making a little bit of money. We know a lot of people. And a lot of people know us. Right? Like that's the point. Be known in your community. Be known as I can hook you up guy. Be known as let me find a guy for you. Right? That's where the real value is. Not just in making tall grass short or mowing lawns or site management. It's being able to solve problems. The more problems you solve for people, the more money you will make. Period. Case closed. All right. That's what I got for you guys in today's show. I was really excited about that topic. I thought it was really helpful. I'm doing end of month billing and I'm like, dude, we know a lot of people. We were solving a lot of people's problems and I feel really happy about what we're doing for our community. So there you go. That's what I got for you guys on today's podcast and episode. Hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day. Don't forget to get your Launchpreneur Academy Live 2023 tickets. They're selling fast. 145 registrations last I looked. Super, super excited about that. Couldn't be more thankful, more grateful. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you. That's the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Leave me some 5-star ratings and reviews, guys. Give me some more paragraphs, some reviews. I actually want to read them. Like, I love seeing them come in. I know it's the dog days of summers, but if you guys are new to the show, take 2 seconds, write a quick paragraph on your iTunes player. I really appreciate that. And I'll be reading those on the show live. Thanks, guys. Love you. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you here on the next one.
Looking to outfit your trailer with the best racks in the industry? Head over to Equipment Defender. Be secure, look professional, be organized, stop thieves and damage in their tracks. Equipment Defender has racks for backpack blowers, trimmers, gas cans, backpack sprayers, and more. Stay organized, stay secure with Equipment Defender. All Equipment Defender racks work in either open or enclosed trailers. Get secure and organized today at equipmentdefender.com. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Equipment Defender.
This is your invitation to Launchpreneur Academy Live 2023 in Novi, Michigan, Saturday, November 11th. The lineup is power-packed. You won't want to miss it. Learn from incredible speakers like Leroy Maines, Keith Kalfas, Caleb and Brittany Allman, Sam Gimble, Weston Zimmerman, and Jeff Joyner, just to name a few. Tickets are on sale now at the early bird registration price of $197. And hurry because seating is limited to just 300. Now through August 31st, 31st, purchase the whole ball of wax and receive a free ticket to LAL 2023, a $200 value. Once you purchase your ticket, you'll be added to our private Facebook group where you can network with other attendees, get access to the discounted hotel room block, and get the inside scoop for the Friday night party, brought to you by Kohler. Thank you to this year's sponsors, Exmark, Sure Track Trailers, Yard Book, and Boss Snowplow for helping to bring this incredible event to life. We can't wait to see you November 11th, Novi, Michigan, at L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2023. Get your ticket today at L'Entrepreneuracademy.com or use the link in the podcast description. L'Entrepreneur Academy Live.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.